Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christina Perez, and I am a specialist with Duval County Public Schools Family Engagement Program. We appreciate you all taking the time to be here with us this afternoon for the Be Safe, Be Seen webinar. Just wanted to let you all know before we get started that this meeting is being recorded and it will be edited and then posted on the Family Engagement website as well as the Parent Academy YouTube channel. If you do have any questions throughout the presentation, please make sure to type them in the chat and they will be answered at the end of the presentation. And now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to both of our presenters, Ms. Heather Albritton and Ms. Edgar Pavon.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I guess it is technically afternoon. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. And thank you to all of you for joining us this afternoon. We're going to go through a quick overview of our Be Safe, Be Seen initiative, updates that we have made, and kind of what you can expect, and efforts that are being made across the district to help our students and school communities be a bit safer. So I've got some sound in one of these, so hopefully you guys will be able to hear that when we get to it. Again, my name is Dr. Heather Albritton. I'm the Director of Health and Physical Education for Duval County Public Schools, and Edgar Pavon is joining me. He is my one and only team member here in the Health and PE office as an instructional specialist for health and physical education. And between the two of us, we service every single school in the district for K through 12 health education and physical education, supporting curriculum, instruction, assessments, professional development, and all the fun things related to anything health or physical education or wellness. So what is Be Safe, Be Seen by now? I'm sure everyone has heard of it. It is our initiative that we have through academic services and the school system as a whole to really encourage and empower students, right, for the knowledge and skills they need to increase their personal safety and encourage the healthy, active lifestyles, knowing that Jacksonville is one of the most dangerous metropolitan areas for walking, but we'll talk about that in a moment. We're going to watch a quick video to that point. So let me know with a thumbs up in your reaction if you can hear this once it plays.
Why are so many pedestrians getting killed on roads in Jacksonville? Could it be because we have a lot of wide roads? Jacksonville's ranked number 6 for U.S. cities with high pedestrian fatality rates. And a safety committee here is working on trying to improve the conditions. On your sides, Atia Collins spoke with leaders about what needs to be done to make Jacksonville's streets safer.
Pedestrian safety in Jacksonville is a growing problem, according to leaders with the city's Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee.
Jacksonville has had a long-standing pedestrian challenge. It has shown to be very dangerous for pedestrians, both in terms of injuries and deaths.
There were 264 pedestrian deaths in Jacksonville between 2016 and 2022, according to a report by Smart Growth America and the National Complete Streets Coalition. Beach Boulevard had some of the highest numbers of accidents.
Signs like this remind people to use caution when crossing the street, but leaders say sometimes it's the street design itself that creates dangers.
Our roads are designed to move cars fast. They're not designed for safety. We have very wide roads. We have fast-speed roads.
To improve safety, the report calls for more visual cues along roadways to remind drivers to slow down, more crosswalks, and higher sidewalk curbs. Narrowing travel lanes can also slow down drivers. These are some improvements that leaders are trying to bring here to Jacksonville.
Many roads in Jacksonville don't have sidewalks on both sides of the road, or there are gaps where there's no sidewalks at all. We need to improve the number of crosswalks and sidewalks that we have in Jacksonville.
Reporting in Jacksonville, Atia Collins, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, so that news story was from 2 years ago, right? So this is an ongoing issue, an ongoing problem that we have that everyone is aware of. So we are unilaterally working together. Last year, Duval County Public Schools created a resolution with the city of Jacksonville. This was passed in November, and we had 4 goals. We want to encourage drivers to be aware of cyclists and pedestrians, establish an annual traffic safety week, develop a community action plan, and then work together for joint appropriation requests that will provide funding to address the need for pedestrian and infrastructure improvements. So why is road play safety important? I feel like this is one of those slides that you're like, well, yes. But in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about multiple things. Everyone always thinks about injury prevention, and keeping our kids safe, but we're also trying to foster that lifelong responsibility because we start really young with our kids and then we had kind of dropped off in our middle school and high school age groups. And then you expect those kids to know the things, and you expect parents and grown adults in the community to understand road play safety, right? And unfortunately, we have a lot of adults and a lot of our older kids who have been involved in these incidents lately. So fostering that lifelong sense of responsibility, it doesn't just start and stop whenever you're a child, throughout your whole entire lifespan. And then ultimately, our goal in physical education is to keep people active, right? And what is the most easy activity for everyone to participate in? Walking. Well, if we are not walking and commuting safely, and we don't have safe places in order to do that, we have an issue. So we want to instill that confidence in our students and in us as we grow, but also how can we make Jacksonville a safer place for us as pedestrians? Here are some of the stats. This was a part of a task force or initiative, and Edgar, you may remember the name of it. There was a study that was done, and it's eluding me right now, but Jacksonville is in the top 20 most dangerous metropolitan areas for pedestrians. We are number 6. And then in the state of Florida, I'm sorry, in the nation, metro areas, this is for number of deaths, 100,000 per number of per deaths per 100,000 people, we ranked 18. And then we talk about road play safety statistics. We're number 3 in the state of Florida for the most dangerous cities. So here are the most dangerous cities according to that report. And Jacksonville is number 3 in the state of Florida, but number 6 on that nationwide list. So we drop into individual statistics for pedestrian and bicycle crashes. You will see here that the yellow represents a fatal incident and the red is an incapacitating injury. So for pedestrian crashes over here across the span of these years, I apologize if that's shifting the colors of those. You'll see the information that we have ranging from 2018 all the way to 2023. We do have 2024 data. This needs to be updated with that. And obviously we're still in 2025, but these numbers are alarming. So for pedestrian and bicycle crashes, we want to reduce the number of fatalities and injuries on our streets. So local statistics here, on average, pedestrian is killed every 70 minutes, and every 8 minutes there's an injury. 17% of those statistics reported were children 14 and under. So that's a huge issue for us. Nearly 1 in 4 of those pedestrians killed in the traffic crashes were hit and run. So again, that sense of responsibility, where is that as a driver as well? Of the pedestrian incidents, over 75% of those fatalities were not at intersections. So we're talking about crossing, not at an intersection, not in a crosswalk, and 78% of those occurred at dark. And I want you to remember that dark could be also dusk in the morning before the sun comes up. So in the morning early hours or in the evening late hours when the sun is not up and it is dark outside. So we're going to talk about the key safety practices. How can we help as a community? We're talking about awareness efforts, training for our teachers that are providing this instruction, and then putting it into practice with our students, whether they're students in our schools or when you're out in the community with your students and when your kids, when you're walking to the grocery store or to the park, making sure that you are providing those opportunities for practice. As you know, we are over curriculum and instruction, and the Be Safe, Be Seen initiative spans from elementary to high school. previous to last year, there was a gap in our instruction. We had very, very strong instruction related to pedestrian and bicycle safety in our kindergarten through fifth grade classrooms. And then it kind of dropped off in middle and high. We saw that as a need. And so last year we revised that curriculum and now it spans up to middle and high school. So learning the basics in elementary, then reinforcing those basics in middle school, and then learning how to plan for routes to and from school, recognizing hazards, and following road rules in middle school. And then in high school, we're building upon those skills for independent navigation and also remembering that now we have all of these distractions. I'm sure you have seen individuals on the side of the road or, our kids that have earbuds in all the time, or now they have their cell phones. So emphasizing and increasing that alertness and risk management for a distraction-free commute is where we land in our high school. So building that safety culture, right? So we've got school-wide efforts from us at the district level, and then we're going to expand it to some community efforts. What can you do at your school? What can you do as a parent individually? And how can you get involved with the work that we're doing in the community? Not just our safety organizations that are it's our job to do that. So JSO, City of Jacksonville, the police individuals, or any first responders, that's a natural expectation of them within their roles. But how can you get involved as a parent? All right. You may have heard about traffic gardens here in Duval County Public Schools. We have started this initiative as well to try to paint traffic gardens in school campuses and in public shared parks with our school district. So this top left design there, that has been the easiest one for us to paint. As you heard earlier, it's just Edgar and I. And so when we're going out and helping schools do this, that is the most easy one for us to design and paint. We have traffic gardens in about a dozen schools right now, but we don't want to leave schools out that don't have an open hard space or the area to do this. So we also make sure our teachers in schools are aware of how to make a traffic garden in the grass with field paint or with cones or with other items that they may have. So during those pedestrian and bicycle safety lessons, they have a space in which they can provide this instruction and put students in a real life scenario. So this is one that can be set up on the grass. So this was our very first traffic garden. It was at Atlantic Coast High School because this is where we had our professional development for our teachers. In the foreground down here, you can see the traffic garden that we painted as a department. You'll see the roundabout, giving children the opportunity to practice what they are doing in the roundabout. The gray around the outside of the colored buildings is supposed to be a sidewalk. Then you have crosswalks in some areas, simply stop bars or yields in other areas, turning lanes, and then in the middle area, you'll see another traffic garden that has less colors because if a school doesn't have the funding to provide all of those, this was done with field paint, like field chalk. We just went to Home Depot and got some of that. There's also a railroad crossing on that one. And then in the very back in the grassy area, we set up a third traffic garden with simply cones and other items that can be found in a traditional physical education storeroom, and also did field paint for that one as well. So we were able to show our teachers 3 different options for providing students with an opportunity to practice the skills that they learn in the classroom in a real life setting. So that's essentially the breadth of a traffic garden, is allowing students to come out, participate in walking in a simulated traffic environment with a low risk. So there's no, if you make a mistake here, we learn how to fix that. So you may be in a group with your peers and we give you a scenario and you have to walk from the blue building all the way to the purple building. And you have a group, you walk it, and then the students are able to give each other feedback. We may stage obstacles or barriers or road hazards and they have to navigate around. Students can be walking with a hoop to simulate a car or on a scooter if the schools have scooters. So it just puts them in a learning space where they can practice all of the safety skills that they've learned in a real life scenario. Again, we have traffic gardens that we've painted in some of our schools. Thomas Jefferson, Oak Hill, Johnny Ford, Abbas Park, Twin Lakes. I'm forgetting some of them, I'm sure. And we have several others that are in the works, but here's a little bit of our handiwork that we've done over the last year and a half at our schools. You should also see at your school posters and signs and just visual cues to remind our students what it means and what they should be doing. So we've got steps for pedestrian safety, steps for bicycle safety, and each of those have very simple reminders for our students. During open house, hopefully you were offered a safety pledge to sign with your student and have those conversations. If you don't have kids and you want to sign a safety pledge, that is also perfectly acceptable and encouraged because we want this to be, again, a shared responsibility from all of our students, our parents, and anyone in our school communities. I know many of you have probably been in drop off or pickup line and got frustrated with someone who was speeding through or just impatient, or you're behind a bus and you see someone pass. So ultimately, these are visual reminders of our commitment to keep our community safe. We will talk about the how to be a role model um, booklet, but over here in the left-hand side, those are conversation starters and words of the day. So there is a little packet that is how to be a role model, and it has tons of information in it for you as a parent to review and share with your student, with your child, with the children in your life. So we're talking about a certain word of the day. So for me, I have twin 8-year-old boys who are in third grade. And on any particular day, I'll say, what was the word of the day? Or, hey, the word of the day is crosswalk. So can you point out a crosswalk? Where is a crosswalk? What does it mean? We're driving down the road and I see someone running across the street. Hey, boys, what did that person do wrong? Well, they didn't cross at a crosswalk. And we use those as conversation starters to just have that conversation out when we're in the community. It brings awareness to them. It lets them know that I am paying attention as a parent. And then I'm using that moment to teach them what they should and shouldn't do, or what they should look for in order to keep themselves safe. And so they can kind of advocate with their friends as well. So there's also school-wide engagement ideas if you were heavily involved in your PTA, PTSA, for you to bring to your school to possibly do as a community. But these steps to safety have been broken out into individual posters. So you'll see the big list here that has all of them. And then you may see little individual posters that are the regular 8x12 that just have the steps broken down. Schools also have the pledge. I see Monique, I see you have, where would you send the signed safety pledge? Back to your school. If you want to bring it here to the district building, we had them last night at the board meeting, and so I have a stack of them as well. I think we may do some type of a competition in January when Be Safe, Be Seen Week starts to see which school can get the most per percentage. But we'll see about that when January gets here. Every school also now has a banner. And so I know there's a consensus going around that the education in the schools and the posters and the banners are not enough. 100% I agree. I absolutely agree. But seeing these signs is a reminder in each of our school communities that we are making the commitment to pay attention and be vigilant every step, every ride, every time that we are on the road or we're in our school communities, that we are trying to be safe and be seen. So this is just a few from our principals that sent in that they have them hung. Most of them are on forward-facing fences at each of our schools. So if you don't see it at your school, look for it the next time you're there. And if you don't see it, tell your principal, hey, where's your Be Safe, Be Seen banner? As a part of the resolution, DCPS joined in a youth traffic steering committee. So it's a task force that was created. And so DCPS, City of Jacksonville, North Florida TPO, the municipalities out at the beach, so Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Jacks Beach, JSO, DCPS Police, UF Health, Florida Blue, not Florida Blue, Blue Zones, and Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, are all at the table where we're talking about larger issues within the Duval County, Jacksonville area. Because it cannot just be education. We are at the top of that list for the most unsafe metropolitan area. So what are we doing with our infrastructure? So the Youth Traffic Safety Steering Committee, and I'm just going to call it the task force from here on out because that's a mouthful, set out to create some community action plan goals. And so here are the goals that the committee is working on. We're talking about reducing student and faculty pedestrian and bicycle injuries by 20%, while also increasing walking and biking rates by 15%, especially in those underserved areas, fostering healthy mobility, prioritizing those safety improvements in disadvantaged neighborhoods for equitable access, secure joint funding with TPOs, COJ, and community partners for pedestrian infrastructure, and then strengthening those partnerships and with community stakeholders to sustain those efforts. So once we get that rolling, how do we continue this? When the funding runs out, how do we continue to make sure that these neighborhoods and these areas stay safe for our students and community members? One of the big things that we are doing right now is a partnership with Florida Safe Routes to Schools. So the task force identified, I think Edgar, and you can come off mute if I'm incorrect, I think we identified 10 schools with the high risk evaluation that we've done in all of the areas to figure out where are our most dangerous areas of incidents, the high injury network. So we took the high injury network red areas of like, we've had 25 incidents here, 15 incidents here, and we kind of place those near our schools. Where are these at in relation to the schools in our district? And so we've started with 10 schools that we're going to engage with, and broadening that spectrum to figure out how we can eventually include every single school. But Florida Safe Routes to School will provide funding for us to improve the infrastructure and the safety of those areas, with the coordination between the school and community members in that area. So we're talking about the 5 E's. So education, encouragement, enforcement, engineering, and evaluation. So we've got education covered, right? That's what we're doing every single day. Encouragement, PTA members and school staff. So that's where we need your help getting involved at the school level to really encourage the events and plan those things and actually show up at our schools to participate in these events and promote the awareness efforts that we are doing. Enforcement. Why is JSO not out there? Why are the school police not doing more? That's a question we get a lot. Why is there not a police presence at my school for drop off and pickup? I've got parents speeding through, and we are collectively working on how to improve having more visibility with crossing guards, cameras, whether or not that's an attainable expense for us to have at those crosswalks or on those buses. Engineering. Now that we've identified that there is no sidewalk here or there is no crosswalk here, and this is the main crosswalk for our students, what are we doing in that area to really appropriate funds for those improvements? And then evaluation. Okay, we've done this. What's next? Did what we do work? And how can we improve upon it in the future? So collecting that data throughout the process is going to be key. And I'm going to pause there and let Mr. Pavone provide any input to that because he is my lead for our Safe Routes to Schools work with our schools.
Thank you, Dr. Albritton. Yes, actually, as you pointed out, we've got 10 different schools. They're elementary, middle, and high schools, with the preponderance being in elementary schools that have been identified. We're working with the schools, a lot of them very actively. As a matter of fact, I'll have to leave this meeting here in a few minutes because we have a meeting with the principal at one of the schools so that we can start the process with the task force coming out to identify what needs the school has and get the project rolling there. The principals and their staff have been very proactive in trying to get our assistance and assistance of the task force partnership to get things going at their school. They see that there is a need, and we are so very thankful to them for as busy as they are during the school year, to take time to be a part of this. So we very much appreciate it.
Thanks, Edgar. All right, so shifting on to a few other things that are, oddly enough, not really wide known. Florida bicycle helmet law. And I can't tell you how many parents or students I've run into who don't know that it is a requirement for students and children under the age of 16 to wear a helmet. And so all bike riders and passengers under the age of 16 must wear helmets. It has to fit properly and be worn securely for it to actually work. We see a lot of kids wear their helmets way back here, or parents wearing them farther in the back. So we have a wonderful partner in the players at Wolfson's that have donated helmets to a lot of our events and also do helmet fittings for us. So if your school is looking to have a helmet event or a walking or biking event where helmets will be distributed, please let us know and we can get you in contact with our partners at the Players. They are absolutely amazing and we greatly appreciate their support in all things that we've done. But I say that to lead into one of the most popular things right now are e-bikes and e-scooters. I know these graphics are really, really small. They are a part of the How to Be a Role Model Parent Resource Guide. And this is available also in a one-pager to print and share with your school communities if needed. We've had a lot of conversation recently about rules and regulations and policy surrounding who can ride an e-bike and should we be allowing them on campus and are they supposed to wear helmets? So the answer is yes and no, right? The very bottom down there, you'll see, do I need to wear a helmet? All the way across. If you are a child under the age of 16, yes. But always wear a helmet, even if you're an adult. The little e-bikes and scooters that are downtown, and you can check those out as an adult. And most of the time, we don't travel with helmets. It's still highly encouraged for anyone who is on those to wear a helmet. You can see that max speed right there. This is if it is untampered and directly from the manufacturer. Segways and hoverboards can go up to 12 miles an hour. Motorized scooters can go up to 30 miles an hour, but most models go between 15 and 20 miles per hour. Class 1 e-bikes are up to 20 miles an hour, motor assist. Class 2 motor and throttle assist up to 20 as well. And then those Class 3 e-bikes go up to 28 miles an hour if they are untampered with. You can fix those, if you will, to go up to like 35 miles an hour. And that at that point is considered a motor vehicle of some sort. And I can't imagine riding on those without a helmet, but we see it all the time. The bottom part there, where can I ride, which is actually on the right side. If on the one pager, it's underneath that. So in the green, we also added local rules for each of the municipalities here in Duval County for rules and regulations on where you can ride. So each of those are split up by the category of the motorized electronic device or electronic mobility device. And so you have all of the information about where you can ride in each of those areas because we recognize that Jacksonville is huge and some of the laws may vary if you're at the beaches area. So that is also included in there for your information as a parent before you buy. And that's what we want, right? Before you buy this, we want you to know the rules and regulations and the safety implications of having one of these. We've had countless injuries here recently from students being injured from being thrown off of e-bikes or scooters, and many of them have not been wearing helmets. So if you are going to make this purchase or you do have one, please make sure your child is wearing a helmet and drives responsibly. Okay, so that is all of the information that we have to share with what we are doing, the efforts the district has in place, whether it be curricular or in these meetings. I wanted to make sure I left plenty of time at the end for questions related to your individual school communities and information that you may want on how you can get involved or what you're seeing in your specific neighborhoods to inform the iterations of our resources that we will be sending out. I'll finish with Traffic Safety Week for this year. Today is actually National Walk and Bike to School Day. I have my little sticker on from some events this morning. So I hope you participated if your school had something. So we have National Walk and Roll to School Day, Stroll to School Day in October. Then in January, we will have our local Traffic Safety Week, which will be in January. So you'll receive more information that right at the start of January. And then in May, there's also a Bike and Roll to School Day. So we have kind of bookends on the school calendar year. And then we have something right at the beginning of the actual regular year, not the academic year, to kind of make sure that we are reinforcing all of these strategies to keep our students safe and encourage some participation in the community. So again, this is a shared responsibility for all of us. We all take a part in this, whether we have students in our DCPS schools or not. We all are driving and on our roadways in some shape, way, or form. And so we hope that you really adopt the safety pledge and you put that to use, put your phone down and be vigilant on the roads to make sure we're keeping everyone safe. But I'm going to open the floor up for questions and comments and suggestions. But I really appreciate you being with us here today and listening to the efforts that are being made to keep our community safer.
And I've gone ahead and enabled the mics for all the attendees so they can either come off mute if they like or type in the chat.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions or thoughts for what we are doing? If not, I believe you would be free to go. Definitely wanted to thank you again for your attendance. And I think Christina will be sharing our email addresses if you think of anything in the future for improvement or just want to share anything. Will the committee report on any non-working school zone flashing lights? So individual school communities, we kind of rely, I will say this. I know I mentioned it before that it's just Edgar and I for the whole entire district. So parents reporting or the school communities reporting that things are out or not working are very, very important to us. Another thing that we didn't realize, at least me, I taught at a middle school before I came to the district office, and I have elementary age students. I had no idea, which is something that I want to work on with the task force. I had no idea that local city rules don't require middle or high school areas to be school zones. So unless you have a elementary school in close proximity to your middle school or high school, there is no school zone, flashing light, go slow, students are here for those areas unless a parent or a community member or someone has advocated for such, which is crazy. But that is something that we are learning. So if you have something in your area that is, a school zone light is not working, we can definitely get you in contact. If you'll let us know, we will find out who the people are. Helmets for, yes, report to FDOT. And then also, I think City of Jacksonville has their hand in that as well. And then Christina dropped in the chat our health and physical education, HEPE, that's health education, physical education at Duval Schools email address. You can let us know there. The information for helmets is the Players Center at Wolfson's Children's Hospital. I see Edgar was typing. I don't know if he was typing a contact information in there, but Jessica Winberry is who we contact. Now, we could also teach you how to apply for helmets for your school. I think it's at your 100 per application schools can get until the state runs out of those. So we will definitely make sure you have that information too. Trying to make sure I read all of the chats, my friends. Yeah, middle and high school areas, I never paid attention to it. I was like, huh, I guess there's not a school zone slowdown right there. There never was the whole entire 10 years I worked there. Yes, I will make sure you guys all get, I'm working on some updates to the how to roll or how to be a role model parent resource guide. It's about 20 pages. And I want to make sure that the information from last year, if anything needs to be updated for this year, that you'll be able to have updated information and taken some feedback from parents. That we had a PTA meeting and I shared most of that. So I definitely want to make sure that the feedback that was received is reflected in this year's version. So I will have that for you as well. But yes, email us if you have any questions at hepe@duvalschools.com. Oh, it's .org. Christina, didn't even see that. hepe@duvalschools.org. There we go. And I am happy to share any of these slides with you as well. If you are hosting a PTA meeting or any event at your school and you'd like some information to share, please let us know. I'm happy to share that as well. And your physical education teacher on each of your campuses will be coming to a training on October 14th. And they can ask us any questions. It's not specific to Be Safe and Be Seen right now, but the January training will be. So October 14th is a PD for them, and we'll kind of give them some information on what to expect for the January training. But January's training will always be dedicated to making sure they have more up-to-date information to share with the Be Safe, Be Seen week that will take place in January.
Just to piggyback off of that, Dr. Albritton, the elementary PE teachers are going to have a session on pedestrian and bicycle safety October 14th. It'll be a shorter version of what they'll have also in January.
Edgar, did you see Monique's question or clarification? I know you're involved with that.
Right. So the 100 helmets, it depends. We have multiple organizations that can request this from FDOT, and it depends on whether they're using Safe Routes to School grant money or not. That's the bit that Dr. Albritton shared earlier about it depending on how many helmets and how much money they have towards that. And that kind of depends on the time of the year we do it. But 100 is sort of what they're asking for to not go beyond. But we have a way to kind of supersede that by using multiple organizations, if you know what I mean. So we can help coordinate that. Depends on the school. They're also a lot easier to do in elementary school than to do in the middle and high school, but it doesn't mean that we cannot do it in middle and high school.
Ultimately, the most important part is to get with your school community, really do a needs assessment of your school area. How many walkers do you have? How many bikers do you have? What does the commute look to and from your school? Are there areas that need to be improved? And that's really what we try to explain to our schools. You know, have you gotten out and walked the routes that your students are taking? Are you familiar with the area around your school and what could be improved? And then take that and then make a community action plan in your own school community and really kind of figure out where can you make a difference there, because that's the area that your students are out and about in these communities and where the areas of concern. But I know each of you are here because you have a vested interest and a passion for this, and we appreciate that. And we're happy to have you as partners in this work to keep our kids safe. So thank you all for being here. Again.
We have one
All right.
person typing right now.
Oh, Monique. And Heather, if you can email me some of the information and some of the posters and stuff, some of the links, that I would greatly appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
we
if
can
you
get
don't,
it out to some more.
yeah, if you haven't seen them up at your school, maybe they don't have them, and so I'm happy to share them with you all. They're PDFs. You can just print them off and make them posters or print them out in regular size. We have seen them up in a lot of schools, but resources in each of the schools vary, and we're very aware of that.
Yeah. I know sometimes we have families reaching out, so that's why if you have anything, please.
Sure,
Thank you.
of course.
Um, I think I don't see anyone typing anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you, Heather and Edgardo, for being here with us this afternoon, as well as all of you all. If you have any questions, again, the contact information for health is hape@duvalschools.org. It is in the chat. If you wish to reach out to family engagement, the email address is familyengagement@duvalschools.org. Again, this meeting was recorded, is being recorded, and it will be available in about 2-3 weeks on the Family Engagement website and our YouTube channel. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you all. I hope you all have a fabulous afternoon.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You.
Woohoo! Thanks so much for the opportunity, Christina. I greatly appreciate
course.
it.
Yeah, I'm
Hopefully
actually, there
we-
we go.
Hopefully there
Making
is
sure.
value in all of that.
Actually, yeah, I had no idea about the middle schools and the high schools. Like, that's
Me neither.
crazy.
My mind was absolutely blown. I was like, wait a minute, what? And then I started driving around and I was like, there isn't. You headed to, where are you going? It's just Christina now.
I'm headed to Arlington Elementary.
Arlington Elementary. Okay.
Is that
Alright.
just Duval County?
So I know it's Duval County for sure, but it's not the same everywhere. Each individual city in there, I pulled one of the COJ guys aside and he's like, yeah, it's in the such and such manual and all we need to do is make a petition to do this. And I was like, okay, how do we do that? Like,
Yeah.
if it's that easy, how do we do that? And another person was like, it's not that easy, but it is. And I'm like, okay, well,
I'm sure it takes work, but I'm sure
yeah,
it's not.
check that box. Who
crazy.
do we talk to and put that in the rules? Like, where's the
Well,
manual?
I drive by Mandarin every day, and I just thought I'd just leave, past the school zone time.
Pay attention
I'm
to
originally
it.
from Dade County, and they have all high schools have it, and all the middle schools have it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is a zone near Mandarin Middle because of the elementary schools that are nearby.
So
There are two
But
elementary
not
schools near
passing
it.
Mandarin High, though. It stops right after
Oh, Mandarin High, no.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. If
The
you
schools
do
down
see
there.
one in the secondary areas, it's because there's an elementary school nearby.
Huh.
Like Ribault or
Like Sally B is right there by
Mandarin Middle,
Reebok.
yeah.
Kernan Middle School, there's one right there because Kernan Trail is behind it.
Englewood.
Yeah, but
Such.
yeah.
Yeah,
so,
but even so, I mean, like, I know I pass both Greenland and Mandarin High every morning,
Yep.
and the Greenland one stops
Yes.
before you even get to Mandarin High. So if someone's walking to school,
mhm.
no
Like,
one's
how is
slowing
that-
down.
How is that not like a
Yeah.
low hanging piece of fruit that we just don't pick right now?
Yeah. I know. And I always thought about, like, I'm like, I just thought it was me leaving after it stopped, but
Nope.
I'm going to be updating our parent
Thanks, Heather.
champion and parent leader pages. And I would love to have some of the information linked up there. I tried looking on your website and I couldn't see anything. So if there's any links or anything you want me to include up there, let me know because I'm in the process of updating those web pages.
Okay. And we are in the process of trying to update ours too. So same.
I get it.
And-
Because we have so
and
many people.
I was gonna say, and everything else is just going on, and like,
Yeah.
like there's a whole list of things that I have put on top of another list, on top of another list, and I'm like, I'm gonna get to it. I am.
Uh-huh.
When things
I
slow
have-
down, I'll do that.
The amount of
Yeah.
calendars and lists I have are insane. So I get it.
All of it is covered.
All right. Well, we'll touch base before the next meeting, okay?
Okay. Yeah, you said
Thank you
it's
so
November
much.
8th, right?
No, I believe it's board meeting day, the
Oh, the
4th,
5th, the 4th. Okay,
the
November
4th,
4th.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
opioids.
Okay. I'm gonna double check with Drug-Free Duval.
And they
And
do the
then
full presentation, correct?
most of the time they do. I don't know if they will be interested in doing it the full thing again, so I might reach out to um I don't know if Hanley would want to do some. I will have a full partner, but yes, we do like
Okay.
a very little. This is the type of information we also provide in health education, and we want it to be aligned with what you see, or this is what we're telling our kids, and we want you to be able to also reinforce that message at home. So here's what we tell
Okay.
them.
Yeah,
But
and if
yeah,
you have an idea of what you want to do for spring, I believe you told Reagan at some point.
yeah. So
Just
I
email
have
me.
opioids and fentanyl, which is November, birds and the bees, which is the reproductive health, which we could do, but there's really no point in it now because now all we do is abstinence. There's not really, I'll have to think about like maybe we do how do you talk to your kids about the change and like parents who struggle with like
Does
how to
that,
talk. Yeah.
well, that one could be maybe a video as
Yeah.
opposed to, meaning they choose to, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And then child trafficking, human trafficking, we typically do in January.
Yeah.
Because January 11th is National Human Traffic Awareness Day.
Yeah. Uh, were you planning on it for that day? I know you had given her dates, but she erased it off her board.
Well, the 11th is Saturday this year,
Okay. Okay.
so we can do something another day. And seriously, if we need to do these as recordings, cool.
Hmm.
Not worried about it at all.
Okay. And is reproductive health, do you prefer it a certain month?
And
No.
if we even do that one, I'll
Got
talk
it.
to Paula to see if she wants me to even touch that with a 10-foot pole. And then
Got it.
the last one would be vaping. I always do something on vaping
Oh, vaping
because,
too?
yeah. So I probably do like a human trafficking one somewhere in January and then do a vaping one for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and we'll definitely touch base before then. So,
Okay. Well, my
all
friend,
right.
I hope your hair gets less hairy. Like maybe we maybe we put some conditioner in our hair so it's a little less crazy. But
I
yeah.
get it. I get it.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.